Hey guys, it's Randy with Low Buck LS here again, and this week I'm going to show you how to hunt for your Junkyard LS engine online with row52.com and carpart.com. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your home to start hunting for your LS engine. Obviously, if you get serious about buying one, you'll have to actually go to the junkyard to see if it spins and wins, as J.R. Gunn with the driveway engineer would say. But this will at least, or the way I'm going to use it is it'll help me choose which junkyard to go to by kind of knowing ahead of time what they've got for selection in the yard for LS engines. So, and the reason I'm wanting to do this, I've kind of been wanting a project to work on for the winter. A couple episodes ago I had mentioned maybe doing some videos about dirt biking and overlanding and that kind of thing, but it seems like winter has come early up here in Canada. There's probably 4 or 5 inches of snow on my back deck, and this morning it was about -8 Celsius, so not sure what that is in Fahrenheit for you Americans, but it's cold anyways, so won't be doing much dirt biking or overlanding or anything like that for a few months. And the low buck truck, I put it away and winterized it. It just had water for coolant, so put antifreeze in it and parked it out in the backyard. So I was wondering what I was going to make videos about for the next few months. And I got to thinking, and I kind of have a confession to make here. I've never actually pulled an LS engine in a junkyard, and to be honest, I've never actually done an LS swap. All of the videos on my channel up to this point have been done on the low buck truck, which still has the original engine that it came from the factory with, the 5.3 liter LM7. I have added a turbocharger and decapped the injectors and done a cam swap and done a transmission rebuild and all the stuff you guys have seen on the channel, but I've never actually done an LS swap where you take an LS from the junkyard and swap it into another vehicle. So I thought that might be a good exercise to go through for someone whose channel is called Low Buck LS. So I think we're going to start a new series called the Low Buck Swap School and go through that process of getting a junkyard engine from Pick and Pull or Bucks or wherever. Those are the 2 main self-serve junkyards that are near me. I don't actually have a vehicle picked out to swap it into yet. I'm thinking basically my ideal swap would be to swap like a 6 liter LQ4 iron block engine into like a square body Suburban 4x4, but depending on what is available in the junkyard and what is available for sale in my area, I'd consider doing a Jeep, or it'll probably be a 4x4 vehicle one way or the other, something that I can do some exploring and adventuring in. And if everything goes well and I'm happy with the swap and stuff, my son and I may even take it up on our trip to the Yukon and Alaska next summer, but we've got a lot of work to do before then, and want to make sure that we've got like a reliable and proven vehicle if we're going to be doing thousands of miles in remote country and stuff. So that'll be down the road. But in the meantime, I thought what we would do is start shopping for a junkyard engine, and then I'd like to build an engine stand, like a test run stand. So in the garage here over the winter, we can get that engine put up on the stand and maybe do a cam swap on it and check the compression and do a leak down test, and kind of definitely don't want to tear into it too much and let the magic out, so to speak, and stick to the if it spins it wins type of motto that I mentioned before. But yeah, I'd like to build a stand with like a radiator and a fuel system, so we can get the engine and a harness and a computer and get it running, and maybe do some tuning and stuff on it in the garage here before we even have a donor or vehicle to swap it into. So that's going to be the plan. So this is kind of going to be the first stage of that. We're basically going to go on to row52.com and start having a look at what is available, and maybe on the weekend, if the weather's nice, we'll actually go to the junkyard and start eyeballing some of these engines. And basically, I don't really care if it's a Gen 3 or Gen 4 or drive-by cable or drive-by-wire. What I'm going to be looking for is the most complete package. Like, I don't want something that's got the intake ripped off of it and the injectors ripped off of it and the harness hacked up and the computer stolen out of it. Basically, I'm going to be looking for something that is pretty much intact, like ideally a vehicle that's been in a collision or a rollover or something like that. So, because you know the engine was basically running up until the scene of the crash, so they say, and you know, it's pretty slim that the engine would have like mechanical damage or something like that. The other thing we're going to look for when we actually get out into the junkyard, especially if it's a Gen 4 that's like a drive-by-wire, we'll want to make sure we take the gas pedal or and the tack module and everything to do with the drive-by-wire system, so we've got everything that's compatible. So let's switch to the laptop view here, and we'll hop on to row52.com. So, like I say, you go to row52.com, and it helps if you set up an account and log in. You can see I'm logged in here, and I'll show you why that is beneficial in a second. But basically, we want to click on vehicle search, and we're going to, I also made a little spreadsheet here that I will put on the website and in the Facebook group here shortly, and I'll actually put it into a nice little article and stuff on the website, but it'll take me a few days to get it up here. But basically, I've got kind of a cheat sheet of the VIN, 8th digit of the VIN, what it corresponds to as far as engine, and what the list of models that I search for both Chev and GMC models. So we'll hop back to row52.com, that vehicle search page, and I search, it's already highlighted here, basically from 2000 to 2014, which 2000 is the start of the Gen 3s in the trucks, and 2014 is the end of the Gen 4s. And we're going to search for Chevrolet, and we'll go to my list here. I've got, these are all the models that I searched for that have LS based engines in the Chevrolets of that year: Avalanche, Express, Silverados, Suburbans, and Tahoes. So we're going to start by looking at Avalanches. And then I enter in my zip code. It's actually a postal code up here, but it'll be a zip code for you guys in the States. And then there actually are no self-serve junkyards that are close to me, so I've got to set this radius. I just go to 250 miles because I know I'm going to have to drive a little bit. And then we'll go search. My internet's kind of slow. But here it is coming up with 8 results for a Chevy Avalanche within 250 miles. So another thing to note here is it's sorted in order of the most recent vehicles that have been added to the yard are at the top. So this most recent one was added on October 9th. So about 10 days ago. It's October 20th today. And then if you look at the VIN here, you can see a couple things. You'll always, in this range of years, up until about 2010, the VINs are all the same format. You'll have 1 digit and then 4 letters, then 2 digits and 1 letter. So if you look at these 2 digits here, the letter before these 2 digits, if it's a truck, if it's a van, it'll be a G. But if it's a truck-based model, if it's a C, it's a 2-wheel drive, and if it's a K, it's a 4-wheel drive. So we know this one is a 4-wheel drive. And then if you look at the numbers, if this digit here is a 1, it's a 1/2 ton. And if it's a 2, it's a 3/4 ton. So if it's a 2, there's a good chance it's got a 4L80E as a transmission. And then if you look at the letter that's directly after these 2 digits, which will be the 8th digit of the VIN, that'll give you what kind of engine is in it. And like I mentioned before, if you're logged in on most of these VIN numbers, you can just click on it and it'll tell you some details. It's 1500, made in Mexico, and it's a 5.3 liter. But it doesn't tell you what kind of 5.3, like whether it's flex fuel or iron block or aluminum block. So that's where you can go to the little chart I made that I'll have on the website. And I know without even looking, because I've looked through enough of these VIN numbers and been doing quite a bit of reading and research, that a T is iron block 5.3 non-flex fuel LM7, just the run-of-the-mill Gen 3 5.3 liter. But if you look at my chart here, yeah, T is a LM7 5.3 iron block and just a regular 5.3 liter Gen 3 engine. So hop back here. This one's in Edmonton, which is the city north of me. I'm basically an equal distance from Edmonton and Calgary, so I'm basically going to decide which direction I go by which yard has more vehicles. And there's actually 2 pick and pulls in Calgary to choose from. So these top 2 are both in Edmonton, and then it looks like there's a whole bunch at the Barlow Trail location in Calgary. But if you look at the date that they've been added to the yard, the newest one's been there since August 26th, so over a month. So it's possible somebody's already taken the engine and stuff out of that one. But let's go. So based on avalanches, Barlow Trail has probably got a lot more selection to pick from. But let's go look at express vans, because they are another good source of 6 liters and 4L80Es. And the 4L80Es in the express van also come behind the 4.8 liters. So we'll look at that and dig into these VINs a bit more here. Okay, so for express vans, we've got 16 results. And once you look at a few of these VINs, you'll get to know pretty quick whether it's worth looking at. This one's only a 1/2 ton, and X is a 4.3 liter V6, which you can also see at the bottom of this chart. I put some non-LS engines that you might commonly run into. The X is the LU3 model of the 4.3 liter V6, so we'll pass on that one. This one is a V, and it's also a 3/4 ton, because you can see that 2 as the 6th digit of the VIN. And like I said before, the 5th digit on vans, on the express vans anyways, is a G. And if you look at this 2, that tells you it's a 3/4 ton, so it's probably got the 8 lug wheels, and it's probably got a 4L80E behind it. So that actually might not be a bad one to look at, even though it's just a 4.8. You could potentially get the 4L80E out of it. But it has also been there since September 24th, so may have been picked through already. But let's look at a few of these other vans here. R is the old school small block Chevy 350, 5.7 liter, but those also have the 4L80E behind them. M is 305 for the 5 liter. Let me just confirm that on my spreadsheet here, pretty sure. Yeah, R is a 5.7, and it often does have the 4L80E behind it in the vans, so there should be no reason you couldn't bolt that 4L80E up to an LS based engine, since you can bolt a Turbo 400 or Turbo 350 up to an LS based engine. So should be able to use that 4L80E. And then yeah, the M is the 5 liter, which is the old school 305 Chevy small block. Let's keep looking down. W is another form of the 4.3 liter V6, so we'll skip that one. W here is the 4.3 liter V6. V is 4.8, V is 4.8, so all these other ones, except for this bottom one's another 5.7, but these 4 here are all 4.8, so no 6 liters to be found in the express vans right now. And then just we'll scroll through where the locations are. This is the other yard in Calgary, the 52nd Street one. So it looks like for express vans, they're kind of split. There's more recent ones at the 52nd Street yard, but if you still look at the total number when you get down here, there's a lot more at Barlow Trail. So right now I'm looking like Barlow Trail Pick and Pull is the favorite as far as where I'm actually going to go to look for an engine. But like I mentioned, I really would like an LQ4 6 liter. So let's go look at the Silverado 2500s and 2500 HDs and see if we can find a decent 6 liter. So we'll look at Silverado 2500s. Only 2 of those, but they are both 6 liters. You can tell by the U in the 8th digit there. And the U is the LQ4. If it was a LQ9, it would be, where am I here? Yeah, an N would be the LQ9, but doing some kind of funky scrolling there with my mouse. But so these 2 are both 6 liter trucks, and one at Barlow Trail, one at 52nd Street. And the Barlow Trail one has been there a little over a month. Let's look at the Silverado 2500 HDs now. See what we got here. We've got 5 results. And this one looks promising right off the bat. You can tell it's been in a rollover. So mechanically it's probably okay. It's got a U for the 8th digit. So it's got the 6 liter LQ4. It's been in the yard about 3 weeks, but it is up in Edmonton, which is probably not the direction that I'm gonna go. And then, like I mentioned, around 2010, GM changed the way they do their VIN numbers. So you can see this one, like this older one, like I said, it's a digit, then 4 letters, 2 digits, and a letter. Whereas this one is 1 digit and a whole bunch of letters. But it's still the 8th digit, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is this G, which I believe is like an L96 or yep. So that is actually a pretty decent engine. That'll be the aluminum 6 liter Gen 4 with the rectangular port heads and stuff. So that would be a good one to look at, except if you look at the picture, There is clearly no engine in the truck. But yeah, again, there it shows you some information. It even shows you what row it's in. So when you get to pick and pull, you can head straight to row 32. And they keep all the GM trucks together. So this one, if it's like between 2000 and 2006, and it's got a digit for the 8th digit instead of a letter, this one will be like a Duramax truck. I think that is LB7 Duramax diesel, which would be fine if you're a diesel guy. But so again, based on what I'm seeing here, Barlow Trail is looking like it's the most promising. The other things to look at under Chevys are the Suburbans and Tahoes. So you could go through and look at the 3500s and the 3500 HDs and the classics, which are only 2007 trucks, which is where they switched the body style halfway through the model year. So you usually won't find many. Let's just try one just for the heck of it. Classic 2500 HD, and yeah, it didn't find any. And same, just for the heck of it, every once in a while I'll search for a Camaro or Corvette, but never have any come up, because I guess they don't end up in pick and pull. But yeah, no Camaros, no Corvettes. Well, let's go down and look at Suburbans and Tahoes. And this is where you run into more of the flex fuel engines. So like this one is Z, I know, or Z for you Americans, is the flex fuel 5.3 liter. And those are actually a good choice because they've got bigger injectors. So if you're doing some upgrades like a cam and getting some more air flowing through your engine, you will run out of injector not as soon if on the flex fuel engine. So that one's flex fuel, same with that one. That one's a T, so that's the regular non-flex fuel 5.3 LN7 iron block. Z again. K, that one might be interesting. I think that might be a 6 liter. Yeah, because this is got a 2 as the 6th digit, so that's a 3/4 ton. Let me just click on that VIN number, and yeah, it is a 2500 with a 6 liter. And I'm just trying to think of what 6 liter that would be. But if I go back to my chart here, look for the K, it is an LY6, so the iron block Gen 4 6 liter. So that would be a prime choice as well. But again, it's been there 7 weeks ish. So we'd have to go put eyes on it and see if anybody's taken that engine yet. Now let's go look at GMCs for a second. I'll show you another vehicle or two that caught my eye. Actually, let's look. Again, lots of selection at Barlow Trail here, so that's pretty much decided that that's the first yard I'm gonna go to. Well, let's go look at GMCs for a second. And I was searching earlier and saw one that caught my eye. So just looking at the Sierra 1500 half tons. And this one here, it's up in Edmonton, but this would definitely be worth going for a look. It's got a 0, which will be the LMG, so the iron block 5.3 liter Gen 4. But the one that I would really like is this one here, which has a 3 as the eighth digit, so same as my low buck shop truck, which is a '07 GMC Sierra. It'll have the LC9, which is the aluminum block 5.3 liter Gen 4, which I really like the engine in my '07, so that would probably be the first one I'm gonna go look at. It's been in there 2 weeks, I guess, so it's probably a good chance that the engine out of that one is gone, but that's gonna be my prime. That would be the first truck I would go look for on row 34 of the Barlow Trail location. And because it's a Gen 4 and it's gonna be drive-by-wire, I would want to take the pedal and the computer and the harness and try and get everything I can that's matched up, because that's one of the issues with the drive-by-wire systems is if you don't have the right pedal, or on the '03s to '06, if you don't have the right TAC module, which is throttle something or other, but it's basically another black box that interfaces between your drive-by-wire pedal, plugs into the TAC box, and then there's another set of wires that go from that TAC box to your engine computer. So if you're dealing with an '03 to '06, you definitely want to take the pedal and that TAC box and the engine computer and harness and everything you can get. So basically, yeah, that's pretty much decided. I'm gonna go to Barlow Trail, and this is gonna be the first truck I try and go look for. And then if that one is been picked through or is incomplete, I would go look at some of the 6 liters. So now let me show you one other option of where you can look at for used engines, but this is not self-serve. These are the other kind of salvage yards, which they pull the engine and stuff for you and probably have it sitting on a pallet and stuff already. So you go to car-park.com, and I've already been looking here, but let's I'm just curious what one of those LC9 engines is worth. So let's look at 2008. We can look at the Chevy version, sure. So Chevy truck, Silverado 1500. We're gonna look for engine, and this gives you a good idea of what the various engine models are selling for in your area. I'll just hit search, and we are interested in that LC9 aluminum block 5.3 liter. And there you go, there is one in Crossfield, Alberta, which is down near Calgary. Doesn't say how many miles are on it, but it's selling for $1,800 Canadian. And if we look at pick and pull, we can probably get that engine for between $200 and $300. So that would be a pretty good deal, I think. Now let's, just for curiosity, let's see what like an LQ4 6 liter is worth. I suspect it'll be cheaper, but let's look at, I think what I was looking at before here, a 2002 Silverado 2500 engine. We don't want the CNG version, we want the 6 liter gasoline 8th digit U. And there you go, there's one right in the town that I live in, Sylvan Lake, Alberta, for $950, but got 294,000 kilometers or 180,000 miles on it, so got a lot of miles on it, but for less than $1,000 I could go pick it up tomorrow. But that's not gonna have the harness or the computer or anything like that. you could probably get them to throw that in, but it would cost you extra. And now let's go look at like just the basic LM7. If we look at a 1500 instead of a 35 or a 2500. And so again, the 8th digit T is the non-flex fuel base model, and the Z, or Z as you Americans would say, would be the flex fuel model. But I'm just interested in the bottom of the line. So again, right in my town, I could have an LM7 5.3 liter for $600 with 150,000 miles on it. And there's even a picture of the unit right there. And it's even got a list of all the RPO codes, so you could tell what transmission and rear end, and I know it's gonna have a 4L60E in it, which I have had enough of. And just for the heck of it, let's look at a 4.8. Same deal, can get one right where I live for $650, or Lacombe, Alberta, a town 30 or 40 minutes away from me, could get one for $400, and no key, no start, but that's probably, obviously it's not going to start if it doesn't have a key. So that is actually not a bad deal, $400 for an engine that's probably already out sitting on a pallet for you, and you don't have to spend the day laying in broken glass in a sketchy pick and pull. But so that's another option for looking at engines. So we've got row 52 for a self-serve. There is one other, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's Bucks Auto, and it's got a similar website. You can look up what they've got for inventory, but you can't see the VIN and stuff like that. But you know, I can see that they've got you know, a couple different Silverado 2500s or whatever, but can't see what they've got for engines and stuff. So this is my main one I go to here, the row52.com. So that's how you do it. That's how you can hunt for a Junkyard LS engine right from the comfort of your own home. So we're gonna wrap this one up. Oh, one other thing I did want to mention, I did set up a Patreon for the Low Buck LS channel. For some of you guys, if you're interested in supporting the channel, and if you're finding the content I'm putting out of value to you, you're welcome to make a donation over there. If you go to, I'll put a link in the description, but patreon.com/lowbuckls, and there's like 3 different tiers of levels that you can donate at. I think, I don't even remember what the numbers are, like $3 a month and $9 a month and $25 a month or something. And if you donate at that $25 a month, I'll throw in a half hour per month of my time to either get on the phone or over email or Zoom or Skype or whatever, and help you out with any tuning issues or anything that I might have some expertise in pertaining to the Gen 3 LS engines with HP tuners or what have you. I'm not quite comfortable enough with the Gen 4 stuff to offer my services with that, but if you've got a Gen 3, I'll do what I can to help you out. And yeah, so that's going to be all for this one. Hopefully the weather is decent on the weekend and we can actually go to that Barlow Trail pick and pull and start snooping around and actually pick an engine to pull as our donor for putting on the test bench here in the garage first off, and then eventually swapping into hopefully a square body Suburban or a Jeep or something like that. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.